Hi everyone, and welcome to Club Live here at Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. We are live on YouTube as always on a Friday night. So yeah, get your comments. It's me and Carney tonight, so get your comments in, and we'll do our best to answer some questions. Before I introduce my only guest tonight, as everyone knows, we are on Patreon. There's two different tiers: the Supporters Club at £2.50 a month, and the Gold Member at £4.50 a month. If you can get yourselves along there, there's I think it's a 7-day free trial at the moment. There's a lot of content on there. We're doing a lot of different shows. We did a pod at the Viceroy last night, which was for the Gold Members too, which was very good. Myself, Carney, and Mr. Haymatch were there, so that was a good conversation. So we'll be bringing more content like that. So yeah, if you'd like to get across and see what it's about, have a wee look. But yes, it is Friday night. It is deadline day. It is an Old Firm weekend. And I only have one guest tonight, Mr. Scott Carney. It's just me and you. I take it Haymarch has done his 3 in a row, and that's him done then.
Yeah, mate, I know this would be my 6th podcast this week, mate. So I don't know what I get for that. Surely a week off. I must be due a week off soon enough. And yeah, just quickly on Ali mentioned on Patreon, we are running a giveaway for the third top that came out this season's third top. If you're signed up to one of the paid tiers on Patreon by midnight tonight, you'll be in the draw for tomorrow. I will make the announcement probably about lunchtime tomorrow of who the winner is. So make sure you get yourself over for there in for a chance of winning. So yeah, Ali, just me and you tonight. I would love to be sitting here feeling positive, mate. I really would. I am struggling, mate. I am struggling to find any real positivity in anything that my team is involved in right now. This will be an interesting one, mate. This will be an interesting one.
I kind of predicted what I think we're going to see tonight.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You've almost accepted it already, and I'm like,
I'll be honest, Karen. I know we discussed a lot of things last night in terms of the Viceroy, but I've kind of set myself up for weeks for what I think is going to happen tonight. I hope Rangers shock me and all of a sudden there's 4 signings coming in the door. Can he see it? We will come on to it though, Carney, but yeah, it's a big. I mean, when does the deadline shut? Is it 11 o'clock tonight or is
11
it 12
p.m.,
o'clock?
mate. Yeah,
11. So I mean, we're hours away from it shutting. We do know these things can roll right up to the last couple of minutes of these windows, but yeah, obviously we'll get on to it. But there's not been much rumblings. But yeah, it's a big few of us for Rangers, especially where we want to go this season in the league and in Europe. And talking about Europe, Carney, the Europa League draw was made today. Mm-hmm. It's a different format this season. There is eight teams we play, which goes into a league. You only play the team once. You play 4 games at home and 4 games away. So there's 4 pots. We were in pot 1. So you get 2 teams from each pot: pot 1, pot 2, pot 3, and pot 4. And you play a home and an away game in there. So there were some big hitters in there, especially in pot 1. There was a couple of English teams in there. And yes, I will just go through. Everyone probably knows who Rangers got, but we will go through it, who they got. So first of all, they start at home, Rangers. So it's home away, home away, home away. But at home,
well, no, that's not strictly true because it could change tomorrow.
The fixture. Sorry,
it could change.
But I'll do it in terms of when I say the teams. I'll do it in like home. In fact, no, I'll just do all the home teams first and all the way. Make it easier for people. So at home, we have Ange Postecoglou coming back with his Tottenham team, which, to be honest, I'm quite excited about because I like big teams. We have Lyon coming back to Ibrox. We've had Lyon before. I always remember way back in the run-up to UEFA Cup final, I think it was at the time. We had a chance to get back into the through the Champions League group stages there, and Lyon beat us, I think it was 3-0 Ibrox, remember?
Yeah.
Union Saint-Gilles, I think, who we have played before in the Europa League to get into the group stages, I think. And FCSB, who I believe are Steaua Bucharest, or they used to be Steaua Bucharest. So that's the 4 teams we've got at home, on paper very hard. And then the away games we have just as hard. Manchester United away. Yes. Olympiacos away.
Yeah.
Malmo, who we've had history before, away. And Nice, away, the French club. Carney, I seen Celtic's fixtures come out yesterday for the Champions League. I looked at it and thought, that's not a bad draw for them. I could see them get maybe a couple of wins in there. I looked at our draw today, and we are in the Europa League, not the Champions League. This is a harder group. I mean, it's a cliche saying it, but it's a Champions League group, this, isn't it?
It is, mate, yes. It kind of summed up my mood this afternoon, mate, when I flicked it on just after midday. Had them standing there talking their pile of rubbish that they do before these things, and then try to figure out the draw, and that a supercomputer was going to do the draw for us, all by the push of a big button on the stage. Yes, Rangers' first name out the pot, and then the teams came out immediately, and I was, you know, when you kind of sit and stare at the screen, going, is that still pot? What is that, pot one that they're showing? Oh no, it's not. No, that's our draw. That is a tough draw, mate. That is a seriously tough draw. There is big games. Yes, I'm very much the same as you. I think the atmosphere for the home games potentially be really good, especially against Tottenham. I think the atmosphere will be cracking for that. We'll be back at Ibrox by then, hopefully. And yeah, you are looking at it and going, that's a serious draw. You could argue that it is harder than Celtic's draw in the Champions League. You really could argue that. I also seen an equivalent of what Celtic could have got, and I think they got off quite fortunate because they could have got a really, really difficult draw. So anyway, it's not about them, it's about us. Look, mate, you never know. Honestly, you never know. European nights, Ibrox, all different. You're probably looking at what, 9 or 10 points to get through, something like that to get through. So we're going to need to win 3 games, or a combination of whatever. But we're going to need to win 3 games. So you'd imagine, excluding the Tottenham game, and you never know, we could turn up and do something pretty spectacular against against Tottenham at Ibrox. A caveat that we've not done well against the Irish teams in the past, have we? But the other 3 ones you looked at, we're going to need to try and win them. But look, mate, it's what it's all about, I suppose. I think, but changing to this new format that they have was always going to lead to the potential of getting much bigger ties, much bigger names involved. It makes a change from playing the same people that we've been playing for God knows how many times, if that makes sense. Like the amount of times we've played Vienna or whoever it is, we've been Sparta Prague, many times we've played them. So it's different teams. It's exciting, mate. Of course it is exciting. It's what you want to be involved in, but a harder draw I probably could not have handpicked.
No. And to be honest, every time we get these Europa League draws or Champions League draws, whatever it was over the years, I've always wanted the big teams. I've always wanted the English teams. I've always fancied the English teams. I know they have scalped us in previous seasons in terms of the Liverpool a couple of seasons ago, but it's yeah, I mean, I look at it there, Carney, and you're looking at your home games there. I'd like to think, I mean, you never know with this Rangers team, but I'd like to think you could, Union Saint-Gilles, I'd like to fancy us against them. Steaua Bucharest, I'd like to fancy us against them. Lyon, I don't know, I think that's a 50-50 game. Tottenham, again, that's a tough ask. And then you look away from home, I mean, they're hard games. Man United, I can't see us getting much. Malmo's the potential one where you might get something. Olympiacos and Nice, I think, will be tough as well. But it's, it's glamour-tised. But I do like that it's a different format, like you say, Carney, in terms of there's more teams. You're playing lots of different teams. You only play them once as well. So it'll be interesting how it goes. But yes, I know the fixtures come out tomorrow, so it'll be interesting in terms of what games are first, etc. But there's a few tasty away ties for the Bears there, I think.
You do realise that you're going to be away on holiday when it's the Tottenham home game, don't you?
No, well, I don't. Well, you don't know what it's going to be. Yeah, potentially.
I know. Yeah, but just because you've said that, I'm like, I guarantee you're on holiday for that. No, there is. Look, there's good away trips there. There is definitely good away trips. I think Manchester will be one that will be appealing to many. I think to travel down there for the game. But yeah, as I said, they are kind of glamour-tised. It's, but again, you've got to. It's hard for me to be able to sit here and say you need to try and back the team due to what we're probably going to come on and speak about, mate. because I'm not feeling particularly good about things. But look, as I say, the European ties, when you're involved in Europe, this is the ties that you want to be involved in. Let's not lie. You want to see the best, if that makes sense. You want to play the best. The amount of times we would get through, we've been through the Europa League and we've said to ourselves, give us the biggest name in it, because you always fancy it. You fancy that atmosphere. You know what Ibrox would be like on the home leg, etc. And it will be interesting to see what this format's like. I don't know if I like the idea or don't like the idea of playing teams once. As I say, it's all new to me and new to all of us that have followed, new for Rangers to be involved in anyway. So it will be interesting to see how it goes. Big ties, big games, but I'd say we've got an outside chance of getting some serious points at Ibrox. You need to hope that we pick up a few later on, maybe a few stumble as well, and it will maybe help us out. But it's going to be one of the ones where you're by game, 5, I think we'll be going. So what do we need to do? Do we need how many draws, wins, and whatever else? Do you know what I mean? You're going to need to sit and figure it all out and the potential of it all. But look, it was just when the draw came out, it is one of those ones I sat and looked at and went, my first comment to you boys in the chat was, dearie me, and that's exactly the way I feel about the draw.
Yeah, and obviously compared to last season, there's the extra home game for fans to pay for. Carney, Rangers did when we got into the Champions League a couple of seasons ago, charge the fans. Obviously they can charge between a certain price bracket. I do remember way back then Rangers charged the very top bracket back then. Of course they did. And come out after that and said they got it wrong. Well, obviously, Carney, what's happened with Ibrox this season, going to Hampden, there is going to be 4 home games. There will be a package deal on it. It would be nice, Carney, and I know this will not happen, but it would be nice of the Rangers board to give a gesture to the Rangers fans and price this accordingly in terms of what's happened to the Rangers fans this year. But I don't think they will. I think they'll charge top dollar for these. Like you say, they've got glamour-tised Tottenham in their Lyon, etc. It'll be interesting what they charge, Carney, but I cannot see them giving us a gesture of goodwill, is what I'll say.
Absolutely not, mate. No, you're not going to get me trying to go the other way on that. No, that you'll be struggling to get change out of £200, mate, for that package.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I thought that.
No doubt in my mind, you'll be struggling to get change out of it. So yeah, don't want to get started, mate. I can feel it. Honestly, I can feel it within myself, and I'm trying to subdue myself a little bit because of the way today's panned out and what we're seeing or what we're not seeing. Ultimately, the move to Hampden's going to have cost us money. There is absolutely zero doubt about that. I don't believe the fans are the ones to blame, though, and I don't believe that's the way that they should be trying to recoup the money. However, the fans are the ones that continue to pay no matter what. Do you know what I mean? They will continue to pay no matter what. And because the waiting list is so big for the season ticket, if we choose not to pay for it, somebody else will. Yeah. It is as simple as that. So they know what they can do. I would hope, mate, they would be quite... thoughtful about the fans and maybe think to themselves, maybe we should just try and keep it as low as we can or do it in the lowest possible bracket that they can. But as you mentioned, mate, with Tottenham coming, Lyon coming, I don't think they will do that. Call me pessimistic if you will, mate, but I do think it'll be £200 for the 4 games.
Yeah, I had that figure in my head. And what they've done previously, Rangers, which has been good to give them some credit, is when we've had these group packages, instead of them taking £200 out your account, I'm pretty sure previously they've been taking tickets just before we play these games. I think they take a ticket at a time rather than the full £200. So I'd like to think they'll continue to do that with the Rangers fan, which I thought was quite good from them. But yes, that is Europa League. So we will park that and we will wait till tomorrow to find out the fixtures and dates, etc. But let's move on to the transfer window, Carney.
Do we need to, mate? Do we need to? Yes.
We will. So, confirmed today, Scott Wright has finally not survived a transfer window and he has left Rangers to go to Birmingham City for reportedly I think £300,000. So he's out the door. Ben Davies, we know, is out the door at Birmingham as well. Todd Cantwell is not confirmed yet, but apparently is close to going to Birmingham for reportedly £500,000. I've not heard anything on Leon King or Alex Lowry. Hadji's another one I've not heard on yet. The only guy, Carney, we've been linked with that looks like it's going to be pushed through from Feyenoord on a loan deal is a defender who, speaking to you coming on, you said he played right back last season. I know he can play half. I'm probably going to butcher his name here, Carney. Casemiro, I think. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but
I would go with that.
Yeah, he looks like he's coming in, but that is it, Carney. Don't go full Tonto here and full rant, but where are you at right now in terms of this transfer window? I mean, obviously we did a podcast last night and we did discuss this, but we were 24 hours on now, Carney, and there is little movement.
No, we'll start with where you started, mate. Scott Wright. I wish no ill harm to Scott Wright. He's just not good enough to play for Rangers. Really simple as that. A guy that got his head down, tried his hardest. He played games. He had a few kind of big moments for us, not on any sort of consistent basis. And unfortunately, he was just part of the cycle of players that were having to be used while we were in this kind of recruitment stage of the Rangers history, and the injuries that have been coursing through the squad for a number of years now. So I wish him nothing but the best. Generally, I've got no ill word to say about him. I'm glad he's gone in the nicest possible way. I'm glad he's gone. We have to move away from. We have to step up in players from his calibre in order to progress, and it was right for Scott. Scott Wright probably should have moved on previously, but he's gone now, so wish him absolutely nothing but the best. In terms of everything else, yeah, the Cantwell one, he was reportedly doing a medical. I think it was Sky Sports that said that he was doing his medical, so you'd imagine that'll be announced at some point tonight anyway. But yeah, all we have is strong rumours about the signing that you mentioned. I'm not even going to try and re-butcher his name, mate. I'll let you go with it. So whatever you said his name was, and that seems to be it. Now, I'm not happy with the bid this today. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm all singing, all dancing, and it's fine and everything's going to be all right, because it isn't really. Unless Rangers are playing a blinder here and they've played us all for fools and they're all sitting laughing at us, looking at the panic that's happening on Twitter and whatever else. You can see it. You don't need to scroll too far down before you start seeing comments getting made about the way that this deadline days went for us. It's not been good enough. It really hasn't been good enough. The recruitment this summer is an absolute disaster. Even no matter what happens tonight now. If Rangers come out and announce 4 big signings tonight, fine, right, okay, egg on my face and all that, fine, fair enough. But the fact that this signing is only a loan, the fact that we don't look like we're linked with very much else, everybody else has went very, very quiet in terms of who got the what's his name? Barjami, was that his name? For the Albanian?
Yeah. Albanian boy, yeah,
he's went. That's kind of all went quiet. So whether all this is just paper talk, then if Rangers come out and they do, and we end up signing 4 or 5 tonight, then I'll happily hold my hands up and say, "Oh, I was wrong." But in my opinion, and I think deep down in all of us that are watching, maybe not all that are watching this, but I'm presuming the majority of us will be Rangers fans. You know it's not going to happen. The board have kind of hung us out to dry again, and that's the bit that kind of sticks in my throat. Even as we were talking about the European package, it's going to come with this team that's going to be playing in front of us with an additional right back, centre half, whatever way you want to look at it, and that is it for the day. And you're going to need to pay £200 to go and watch Rangers and be humiliated in the Europa League is honestly the way that I'm feeling. The board will not survive this if this is all that's going to happen. There's a number of reasons for that. One, cutting the wage bill is not a successful summer. You are not going to get plaudits for that. At the end of the day, you have cut it, but you've not reinvested it properly into the team. We still have a striker that we've not seen. Aganami, don't know anything about him. Enciala, clearly a project player. We'll be lucky if he sees many minutes this season in the first team, because we've not seen him so far yet. Or even, has he made the bench? Has he made the bench?
No, I don't think so. Not in the league.
No, don't even think he's made the bench for the league. So, yeah, and we're looking at no disrespect to Barron, but he looks like he's the best signing we've made this summer, which is a sign of where we're at, but obviously plaudits to him as well. I'm trying my hardest, mate, to remain glass half full. I really am. I'm very much at the teetering point over the edge of it, because we're sitting here and I know now that we are 3 hours, 4 hours away from the deadline. And yeah, all I have on Rangers Twitter in front of me is Tom Lawrence looking forward to testing themselves in the Europa League. Thank you for that, Rangers. That's exactly what I was looking for today. Yes, mate. I feel like I should have got on your bus a lot sooner than I have, because I wouldn't be sitting here feeling like this tonight.
Yeah. The warning signs for me, Carney, was weeks ago when Clement came out and said, we need to get rid of players and bring players in. That was the warning signs for me. And like I've said for weeks, and we've said it between us and all, Rangers have shown their cards far too early in this transfer window in terms of players want to get rid of. And I said, this will run right up to the last day with these players, because teams will sit and go, well, we know Rangers need rid of these players. But it can't, well, like I say, it's going to happen probably in the last couple of hours. Hadji, we don't even know if that's going to happen. A guy that's reportedly one game away from his wage getting increased. So if he stays, they'll need to get around the table with him if he wants to play football. But it's been a shambles of a window, Carney. We finished last season, and it was a disappointing season, because Rangers should have won the league last season. They should have. They threw it away, and we looked at this season as a kind of new beginning in terms of getting rid of an old guard and building with a new team. And you go through the players who have brought in, Carney, and I know we will do one probably next week in terms of when the window does shut and we can go through it properly. But you look at some of the players who have brought in: Liam Kelly, backup goalkeeper; Enciala, as you say, we've not really seen him. He's a project player. Igaman, where is he? Why do we spend money on this boy? Not even been on the bench. Connor Barron, for me, was coming in as a squad player, and credit to Connor Barron, he's took his opportunity, and he does. I agree with you. I think he looks like one of our best players now, and this is a guy we brought in from Aberdeen. Tierney, a loan signing from Wolfsburg. Is he going to be the next season? Probably not. Proper, a centre half who he's looked all right, but obviously he got injured a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, for me, it's been an utter shambles, and I think it. You can tell, you look on Twitter tonight, and not just ourselves, Carney, but all the other major outlets are coming out saying it's not good enough, Rangers. It's really not. You're wanting fans to pay to go Ibrox, and we'll always pay regardless, but it is not where I thought we'd be, Carney. I spoke to you off camera. I honestly thought we would bring in this season 3 players. And I'm not talking about spending the money Celtic are spending, because they're on a different planet to us in terms of money. But I thought we'd bring in at least 3 players for you to go, right, that's a good basis where we can build a team from. And we haven't. You're looking at Connor Barron, as you say, is our best player.
It's not going to be anything really expected to be, mate. I think you're spot on in what you said, that I expected us to make at least a couple of signings where you'd really raise an eyebrow and go, right, okay, there's a bit of statement of intent happening. We know what we're in for now, and no disrespect to the guys that we've signed, but none of them have done that for me. Absolutely none of them have done that. I'm just like, right, okay, he's coming in, and you're kind of accepting it. We're not looking great going into the rest of this season. As I say, you never know what's going to happen within the season, but there's only so long that Clement can try and improve this squad. I think we're at a point where a lot of fans will stick to, let's not spend loads of money, and because of what's happened in previous times. I understand that. I get that. They'll understand that the fact that it's cost money to move to Hampden, etc. But the wage bill is it's going to be their fault. There's going to be their card that they play. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it will be. I think they'll play that card as in, well, look, we've done our job. We set out what we did over this summer, and we've done that. But you can't do that in the detriment of the squad. We can't end up with a worse squad going into the season, even if you have cut the wage bill. So, yes, it's left us at a point, mate, where we've not made the signings that we thought we were going to. It doesn't look like the rest of tonight there's going to be very much in terms of signings, incomings, and my biggest fear now is that Clement has kind of been hung out to dry, and there's only so much time that he will get before everybody turns on him completely. Clement has probably made a comment whether he's trying to put pressure on the board. I know we spoke about it last night. Whether he's trying to put pressure on the board that I expect more incomings than outgoings. Whether that he's tried to do that in order to try and get something going, it clearly hasn't worked. And I do feel now that that's going to just be a stick for people to beat him over the head with, mate, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think folk were expecting a lot of incomings this week. As you say, Clement did make that statement that there will be more incomings than outgoings. At the moment, I mean, there are still a few hours to run in this transfer window, and it can change quite quickly. But at this present point, we're bringing in a centre half or right back, whatever it is, to replace Ben Davies at the moment. But there's nothing else. We went through the team. We got no number 10s. Tom Lawrence is sitting there as our number 10 because there's nobody else. What happens if Tom Lawrence gets injured tomorrow, which is very, very likely?
We're up the path, yeah. We're up the creek, mate. Yeah, exactly. You're spot on, man. Like, aye.
Where does it leave you? You go through a lot of it, and I've said it as well. Dessers, who I think started brilliant for Rangers, if he gets injured tomorrow, there's no backup. I think the squad's weak. I don't think it's as we talk right now. I don't think the squad. I know the squad is not strong enough to go and fight in four fronts, if you want to say, in terms of League Cup, Scottish Cup, the League, and Europa League. As we sit here looking at that squad, it's not good enough, Karen. It's not good enough, and I hate to say it. You look across the other side, and they are miles ahead of us. I know they've got a very good structure in terms of how they bring players in and sell them on. Even they're kind of dead wood, if you want to say. They get good money for them as well. They are this season spending reportedly 9 million on a guy that's a backup striker, sending 11 million in a midfield. I know they've brought big money in, but they're miles ahead of us, Carney, in terms of transfers, and it's a realisation of where we are at this point.
Unfortunately, you're correct, mate. It is. I think it's a clear sign that they've got Matt O'Reilly. I think they signed him for 1.8, sold him for 25. Have we obviously paid Cantwell a fortune while he was here and selling for $500,000? Scott Wright as well, 300,000. Some might think that's a wee bit low. There was times he was getting touted for about $1 million in order for him to go, but no, we've got 300 grand for him. And yeah, it is. It's a bit of a reality check, I think, and I think that's probably one of the biggest bits that's kind of sinking in for all of us, mate. We're kind of going, we're probably not as close as we kind of hoped we would be by this point, and the summer as a whole is going to be one remembered for failure. And again, I do mean that by no matter what happens for the rest of this window going forward. I said it in a blog that the move from Ibrox to Hampden and the delay and the works getting done on the Copeland stand, it'll be the epitome, mate. It'll be what we remember this summer for, of what we should have went on and done and what we have ended up doing. It's not a good. We're not in a good place, mate. We are still not appointed a CEO either, or brought in any sort of director of football role that should probably be in place. The board are fumbling about in the dark, mate. It looks like a wee bit now. It looks like they're just hoping that something will stick and nothing that really is sticking. And again, I'm caveating all this with, I know there's still 4 hours to go in this window. But it's still not going to be what we expected it or needed it to be. Rangers are not going to make a signing worth note, I don't think, in terms of it being a even any sort of significant option to buy or an obligation to buy of 4 or 5 million or whatever it may be, that isn't going to happen. We are simply not in that frame, in that financial space to be kind of flirting with those kind of deals. So yeah, mate, it is. It's a dawning realization of what we are faced with, and unfortunately, the board are going to get the brunt of it, mate. And to be honest, they deserve it. The reason that we're in the state is due to the amount of terrible decisions we've made at board level for the club. We've concentrated far too much on Edmiston House, on redeveloping the stadium, etc. Everything, all of that. That's been all well and good, but we always said that it was well and good, but it doesn't mean anything unless Rangers are winning things on the football pitch. And we now have a squad that is not as strong as it was last season, a manager that's going to be looked like he's hung out to dry, one that I think the board will struggle to ignore the noise of, because in my opinion is will falter. I do, because I don't think the squad has got the depth and the quality to really compete for a sustained period of time in any competition that we're going to be involved in. So the noise against him, I know they gave him the new contract and whatever else, obviously to try and secure it and say that this is our man and whatever else, but I think he'll be feeling pretty hard done to right now, and he's probably looking at it going, this isn't the job that I signed up for.
Yeah, I mean, I'll touch on Clement after the dreaded Manscaped promo, in terms of where he's at, but yes, you might as well dive into it with the Manscaped promo. Time for a word from our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by the top team in men's grooming, Manscaped. This season, don't just watch the best, be the best with the ultimate grooming tools. With the Manscaped Performance Package 5.0, keep your balls smooth and ready for play, because whether it's football or anything else, you don't want to be caught with a rough touch. Head over to manscaped.com and join over 10 million men worldwide who trusted Manscaped by using the code CLUBIT22 for 20% off and free shipping. Meet your new marquee signing this season. And this isn't talking about Rangers.
Definitely not talking about Rangers.
The Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. It's like having the best groundskeeper in the league for you, or own personal pitch. This trimmer comes with 2 interchangeable next-gen skin-safe blade heads, one for precision trimming and a new foil blade for smooth finish whenever you need it most. Keep your pitch perfectly smooth. This waterproof wonder is ready for anything, even a cold, wet night in Dingwall, which I'm sure Mr. Carney put in there, not Manscaped. In compact
what are you trying to say? Manscaped are well aware of where Dingwall is, mate.
I'm sure they know where Dingwall is.
I think they said, I can't remember what it was on it. I think it was like Stoke or something like that. I can't remember where they said.
But to be fair, that's just as bad. Its compact case makes it an ideal companion, ready for any away day or last-minute plans. No matter where you go, you can stay sharp and match ready. The Weed Whacker 2.0 ear and nose hair trimmer is your star defender, keeping those pesky ear and nose hairs out of play so you stay looking sharp. Keep your confidence high with the Crop Soother Ball Aftershave Lotion and Crop Preserver Anti-Shaving Ball Deodorant, because even the best players need a little extra support to stay fresh all day, both on and off the pitch. The Performance Package 5.0 Ultra also comes with 2 free gifts: the Boxers 2.0 Midnight Bravo and the Shed 2.0 Toiletry Bag. Premium gear to ensure you're always ready for action. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code CLUBIT22 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code CLUB22 at manscaped.com. Thank you to Manscaped, as always.
As always, yes. Their signing has been announced, mate, as that's the first thing that's ever happened when we've been on air, I think, when something's been announced.
Oh, it has actually dropped.
The signing of Kassan Wirjo, is that what you're saying? Kassan Wirjo? Is that what we're saying?
I'm not saying the Jai, I'm keeping the Jai silent, whether that's true or not, I don't know.
Right, okay, but no, he has been signed. Rangers haven't said what the deal is. I'm just quickly flicking through Twitter as quickly as I can.
Yeah. He's 22. I think he's 6'1". Yeah, interesting.
So
I
Rangers
doubt you'll.
delighted to announce the signing of him, subject to international clearance. The 22-year-old Dutch defender will join the club on loan from Feyenoord with an option to make it permanent. Make it a permanent move next summer. There we go, mate. One done. Please, Rangers, let it not be the last. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I hate it. I hate the
Well,
negativity. I really do.
I said two loan signings. That's what I thought Rangers would do in the last. So there's one. So I'm looking for another one. They do need more Rangers. I mean, like, realistically, I think we need probably 6 players if I'm being realistic.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. Curry's made a point. Just call him Bob. Yeah, I'll call him. Yeah, call him Big Nira, Big N, Big Nira, Nira. I can't even say his first name.
It's interesting that we've brought him in, because I thought we would have went in and brought a left-sided centre half in. I thought we would have looked at a left-sided. And you're saying he's played at right back last season?
He played at right back. Most of his minutes were at right back last season, mate. Yeah. That is weird. That is a weird one. It is, but look, maybe it is the fact Suter can play on the left. Do you know what I mean? He can, if he has to. Suter can play on the left. So, but I'd imagine he expects Proper to play pretty much every game this season. I know he went off with a kind of knocked his back, which can happen. Of course, it can. I'm not going to say that it can't. It was the way that he kind of done a tackle that he knocked his back out, and so that's my only presumption, mate. I think maybe he is listening, and maybe it is time for Tavernier to move aside and let somebody else take that role. But I think it's quite clear the fact of where he signed him, but that he doesn't look at Sterling as being the right back. I think he looks at Sterling as being in the midfield.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to hear from this guy and hear from Clermont where he sees him playing. 22 years of age, 6'1". We'll need to see what he's like. Again, I've never seen him. I've never heard of him before. Obviously, he's just one that was linked the other night, and he's came through. So that is, that is one in the door before the dreaded transfer window shuts.
Please more Rangers, please more Rangers, please more Rangers, please.
You talked briefly just before we did the Manscaped promo there on Clermont. What do you think Clermont's thinking right now? Hypothetically, if the window shuts tonight and we've brought in this boy in loan, and I'm just going to say what I think, potentially another guy in loan, and that's it. Where do you think Clermont's thinking on Saturday morning?
Taxi for Clermont, probably. There's one outside waiting for him. It all depends what the board have told him, mate. I don't think Clermont's going to come out and completely hang the board out to dry or anything like that. But I think the comment that he did make is becoming quite clear that he was trying to put pressure on them. This isn't what he would have been sold. There is just no chance in hell that this is what he would have been sold. He would not have been expecting this to be where it is. He's admitted himself that we were not as far along as he wanted to be, nor none of us wanted to be. We're nowhere near the kind of rebuild, if you like. And yeah, I think he'll be thinking to himself that this is probably going to take some time. I would imagine, again, the contract extension there is him showing us commitment to the rebuild, if you like. So I think he's thinking, right, well, I'm going to be here for the long term, no matter what. I genuinely believe that he understands the club. I genuinely believe that he gets it. And he is. I'm now at the point where I'm going, changing the manager will achieve absolutely nothing, because who's going to take it over? That he started something now, so he at least has to get the time to try and build on it. But it'll all count for nothing unless the board back him, mate. Unless the board figure out a way to get him a transfer kitty, they're going to have to do it. We're at the point now where we're going to have to do it. The knock-on effect of tonight, in terms of how it will finish, there's going to be so many different discussions that will then open up. Do we look at trying to move Butland on in the winter window, try and get rid of him to get money back to recruit it, to put it straight back into the squad? Who knows? But the assets that we have, or did have, have not led us, and not left us in a better financial place anyway. The board have reinvested some of the wage bill, yes, and I know there was no point in Rangers going okay, we get rid of Goldson, we get rid of Lundstrom, we get rid of Kamar Roof, players that are on good money, and then just spending the same on another player. I do understand that there has to be a reduction in the wage bill overall. It has happened, and I don't think we're anywhere near where we were before the window. But I'd imagine Clement's sitting feeling a wee bit shortchanged, mate. I'm not going to lie. Obviously, I don't know. I mean, maybe he isn't. Maybe he's quite happy with what's happening. But I think it doesn't take a genius to just... Not all Rangers fans can be wrong, because I'm saying that, and we are fortunate enough, mate, that we get to speak to Rangers fans on this platform, on YouTube, on Patreon, when people speak to us, when they meet us at games, etc., that nobody's happy with this squad. Nobody's happy with the level of quality and depth that we have within the squad. So I would be shocked if Clement is too happy with it as well.
Yeah, I agree. But like you say, there's still just under 4 hours to go. Anything can happen.
Dele Alli could still come, mate. We could be fine.
Dele Alli could, but a lot of the guys in the chat there, and I've just had a quick swatch on Twitter there, Carney. Berjami that we've discussed, the Albanian number 10 that we're looking for. There's a lot of rumours on Twitter, as I just looked in Sky Italy and stuff for reporting now, potentially a €4 million deal to Rangers. This guy. So,
mate, maybe I'm sitting here having a moan about nothing. Maybe I am.
Yeah,
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. So I mean, he's a guy again I've not seen, but I mean, we are sitting there talking about we need a number 10. He is a number 10. So if that one went through, that would be good. But yeah, but there's quite a wee bit of noise on Twitter right at the moment about that. So yeah, hopefully we can get that one done as well. And I've been greedy as always, is a few more. So yeah, we'll just need to sit and wait up to 11 o'clock and see what happens in terms of who we bring in. But yeah, it'll be a frantic, just under 4 hours at Ibrox at the moment trying to get deals done. I did see Lawrence Shankland didn't play for Hearts last night and wasn't in the squad. And there was lots of folk going on about that. I just think we need to put that one to bed now.
Yes, please, let's. Please.
Yeah, as soon as I seen that, it stirred up stuff yesterday. I thought, oh, God. But yeah, as I say, we'll just need to sit here and wait. We'll sit here and wait, and then after the window slams shut, we can then sit back and look at what we've got, and we'll give our opinions then. But moving on, Carney, we have a football game to play this weekend. It is the first Old Firm of the season. It's at Parkhead. Obviously, as we know, there is no away fans there. Yes, it is Sunday. It is Celtic. Clement hasn't beaten Celtic since he's taken over as Rangers manager. A lot of the games have been close. They've not really scalped us, to be honest, but they have been close. But I know, obviously, we did a full debrief in the Old Firm last night, the Viceroy. But what's your thoughts going into Sunday? Are we going to see something different from Rangers, or are we going to see the same movie we've seen at Parkhead for the past couple of years?
Yeah, I think, again, I know not everybody's moved over to the Patreon, but we did have a pretty good discussion about it last night and on at the Viceroy when we did the full preview. So apologies if you have listened to that, and we're going to kind of discuss the kind of same thing, but obviously we're always free on YouTube on a Friday. So Clement's going to make a rod for his own back if he chooses to do the same thing that we've been doing, because you're left with looking like he's not learning lessons, and that we are still not willing to probably take risks, mate. I think that's the biggest thing, is we have to get in their face as much as we can. We have to press them as high as we can. And yes, it will leave us vulnerable, 100%, I get that. But just sitting off, letting them have the ball and pick their passes and pick us off will result in the same thing that we've seen far too many times before. We have to get at them. Try and upset them as much as they possibly can. No away fans there again. A real shame that Celtic felt the need to come out and blame Rangers for that. Why would they not? It's always Rangers' fault, even though it's clearly them that, because they don't want to come to Ibrox because they don't want the full Broom loan. Be interesting when Rangers actually offer them tickets, whether it'll be the same when we go back to Parkhead. But yeah, just do something different, mate. Try and silence the crowd as much as you can, as quickly as you can. And I think the most crucial thing of the game is try and score first. Do everything we can to score first, because too many times we've seen Celtic score first, and then we're kind of up against it, and before you know it, we're 2-0 down before we've even managed to gather ourselves again. So yes, scoring first would be good, and I think we will get chances. I genuinely do. But as I say, it's hard. It's a hard one to judge, mate. It's going to be a difficult one to judge. They are extremely confident. I mean, very, very confident, which is always good for an upset, isn't it? It's always really good for an upset, and it's time for these players to show. Like, maybe we're all with the kind of the rumours have been around them, the media writing them off, them having their dig at us, etc. Maybe it's time to go out and prove them wrong, and the move, the kind of the old guard, or the kind of last remainders of the old guard, apart from probably Tavernier, they've gone now. So it's now time for this new squad that can make a bit of their own impression on this fixture. We spoke about players like Barron, who I think would be absolutely fine, like John Sewer, who could make his mark, who could think, right, I'm getting a consistent run in the squad now. It's time to show me that I'm at the calibre to compete at this level and to compete with these, to compete in these fixtures. And Dessers as well could write himself into the history books, mate, because I don't think there'll be any player before that we've changed our mind on so much. So, look, a lot of unknowns going into it, as there always is for the first Old Firm game of the season, but we have to do something different than we've seen before, because doing the same thing again will result in the same outcome.
Yeah. I mean, they are extremely confident, and rightfully so, to be honest. I mean, if you were in their position, you'd be confident as well. They are very overconfident, but to be honest, I like that. I like when they've got all their cheerleaders out saying how Celtic are going to thump Rangers, etc., and they're going to do this and do that. And I like all that stuff because it's ammunition. Whether that gets the Rangers players up, I do not know. But you'd like to think it would. But yeah, so I mean, Celtic this season, as we talked about last night, Carney, are putting games to bed very early in the first half. They're scoring quick goals. They're scoring, I think most of their games have scored within the first 5 minutes. And they get the second in the first half and the game's pretty much done. The second half's a bit of a non-event for them. They don't really need to do much. And previously at Parkhead, when we've played it, it's been very similar in terms of Celtic get that goal and they get the second goal quickly, and 2-0 down there, it's pretty much dead and buried. Rangers need to flip the script on Sunday. For me, we can't go and sit off them. I don't think a lot of folks say go and try and contain and frustrate them and maybe nick goals. I don't think we're good enough to sit and soak it up. I think they moved the ball too quick. I would honestly go toe-to-toe with them. I'd rather we went toe-to-toe with them. If we get beat, we get beat. But I'd rather watch a Rangers team and go out and have a go at them and show a bit of belief, show a bit of bottle. Guys like Connor Barron, I've got no danger him going there. I think he's brave on the ball. Guys like Jeffy, I think he'll thrive. You talk about Dessers, it's bizarre talking about it now. The guy's on fire at the moment. Probably thinks he's going to score every time in front of the goal, and that's what you want. And I agree with you, Carney. He's had good big chances at Parkhead before, and he's not taking them. I'd fancy him tomorrow and on Sunday. Sorry, I really would, just the way he's playing. But it's time for Rangers to give a performance finally at Parkhead. I know they did it years ago in terms of under Gerrard, and folk talk about that when Rakitic scored, but they need a big performance. And I agree with you, Carney. Rangers have to score first. They have to score first for me. If we go 1-0 down, I could see it being the same old script and same old story. The first goal is a cliche in football, but it is in this game for us. If we score first and flip the script, you know what their fans are like. They can turn quite quickly. But if we score first and kind of silence them, that's what we have to do. And we need to be brave in the ball. We really do need to be brave in the ball. And yeah. Who's the big players for you, Carney, on Sunday? Who's the? I'll give you 3 players, but who's the 3 big guys that you think will stand up for it?
I think Worland's going to need to beat Butland because I think they will get their chances. Don't get me wrong. I think they are going to come out all guns blazing, mate. Of course they are. They think they already know the script. They think they already know the ending to Sunday. So Butland, I think, is going to have some crucial saves to make. I think I suppose in an old firm, mate, you're always going to expect your keeper to have a pretty busy game and expect him to perform at the highest level that he can. So I'll say Butland because I think you'll probably not say him. So I'll say him first. The other two will probably maybe agree on. I'm not 100% sure. It's whoever's going to be the anchor in the midfield for me. They're the one that's going to need to cover a lot of ground because if Tavernier starts, and I expect him to, he's going to need support because that's the same thing if we've said about seeing the same thing over and over again, and Maeda being one-on-one with Tavernier is something we've seen far too many times, and Tavernier clearly struggles with it. And even this season in particular, he definitely seems to have lost a further kind of half-yard of pace. So whoever kind of plays the six, I would expect it to be probably Barron. I want it to be Sterling, but I think he'll probably play Barron due to playing Lawrence in the 10. I wouldn't play a 10, but I suppose we'll come to that as well. So, yeah, whoever plays the 6, mate, and then Cyril Dessers, mate, for me. I think he's going to need to take the chance whenever it comes his way. No flapping about taking 2 or 3 turns before you hit the ball. Just hit the ball, Cyril, because you're on fire now. So if you hit it, it's probably going in. I think he will be one that needs to kind of stand up. So really the spine of the team, really, mate, the spine of the team, right down the middle of the park, we need to be absolutely solid and on point. Who are your 3?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's a cliche to the middle of the park, and I think we've lost the middle of the park battle for years with them, especially Cal McGregor gets far too much time in the ball to dictate these games. For me, and it's a wee clue into who I think will play the midfield, Connor Barron, I think he'll be a big player. I think he's got energy, legs, he's everything we've been crying out for in a midfielder. I think he'll thrive on it. I really do. I think he's quite a gallus wee guy. He's, like I say, he's brave in the ball. He looks a lot better than what I thought he was going to be, Connor Barron. Whether that's because a lot of the Rangers players aren't great, but no, he does look a good player, and I think we can develop him. And a guy beside him who I think will start, or I would start, is Sterling. I think this could be a big game for Sterling because I agree with you, Canny. The weak link for us and the one Celtic will try and exploit is Tav, because I've had Joy. That might just get Joy all the time with Tav. So Sterling for me is going to have to do 2 jobs: support Connor Barron, but also support Tav when Maida's going down that wing. That's big for me. And the last one is the same as you, Dessers, because he's the guy for me that's got to put the ball in the back of the net for us. He's the guy to do it.
As well, you've got to credit the guy, mate, because at the start of this summer, there is no chance we would all be saying, like, not with confidence, but without any real doubt, that Dessers is your number 9. I know it's down to, obviously, we've not seen Iganami, we don't really know what he's all about, but even at that, the way Dessers has started this season and the way he's been performing, you can't not start Cyril Dessers, you have to.
Yeah, and his attitude's spot on. If the rest of the Rangers players had the attitude he had, I think we'd do just fine. But you would, and I'd love him. I'd love him to score the match winner. I really would. It'd be a turnaround in terms of a story of where he was as a Rangers player. I would love him to do it. I really would. I just hope he does. He's a likeable guy, Carney, and like I say, he started really well for Rangers this season. He was one that I would have moved on in the summer. I know, along with Danilo, which I've had a bit of stick for, but he's one I would have moved on and looked to bring another number 9 in. But he started on fire, Cyril Dessers. And every time he's played, he's scored for Rangers, and that's all you ask of a striker. And so far this season, he's doing it for us. So, yes, we will move on to, and I know what your team is, Carney, because we did this last night, but a lot of the guys on here obviously don't know what it is. But yes, Carney, your team for Sunday and your scoreline.
My team, what I would pick would be Butland, Tavernier, Suter, Proper, Jeffrey, Sterling, Barron, and Diomande, Matondo, Dessers, and Tierney. What I think he will play is barring Diomande and Lawrence, is what I think he will play. I'm going for 3-0 Rangers, Cyril Dessers to get a hat-trick.
Oof, Carney, and all the Celtic fans watching that will be clipping you for tomorrow,
That's
for
fine,
Monday,
mate.
if it goes the other way.
See the day I don't back my team in an Old Firm game, mate, it's the day I stop doing this.
Yeah, I know. And I'm going to go realistic, which I did last night. I always want Rangers to win. I hope Rangers win, but I'm going to go what I think it will be. The games have been tight, to be fair. They have been tight the last couple of games. I thought Rangers were the better team in the cup final, but ultimately we didn't win it. We couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. But yeah, I'm the exact same team as you, Carney. That's what I'd play. I'd play more of a kind of flat three in the middle of the park. I think Diomande could get closer to Dessers as well. And I also prefer him slightly further up the park because, as we said last night, he has got the tendency, I've seen it at Parkhead, he'll lose the ball in dangerous areas. And if he's playing deeper, we can get caught out sometimes. So that's the team I would play. I agree with you. I think he'll play Lawrence because I think he likes Lawrence. Tom Lawrence, as we discussed last night in our group chat, hasn't he turned up for Rangers in a big game, especially in Old Firm?
He's not got the legs to cope with, mate.
He gets overran. He gets overran in these Old Firms. It's too frantic for him. For me, he gets overran, and then he leaves whoever the two behind him are to do twice the work because there's three guys on them. So,
which then gives McGregor free roam again to do what he likes.
It does. It'll be interesting what Clement does with Callum McGregor. I did float the idea of because Connor Barron's getting energy. Do you say to Connor Barron, don't stick on him, don't let him play? So it'll be interesting to see what happens. My scoreline is, and I'll probably get knocked for staunch points, and my Gears points will get taken off me as well. But I'm going to go for 1-1. That's my prediction. That's not been negative. It's what I think it will be. And 1-1, a draw would not be a disaster going to Parkhead where we are at this present point. Ultimately, of course, I want to go there and beat them. I would love to beat them in their backyard, but I'm going to go 1-1. I just hope they show me something, Carney. I hope we go, and I know we're all going to the Viceroy on Sunday to watch it. I just hope we go there, Carney, and go and see something different. Show us something different, Rangers, because ultimately the last umpteen away games at Parkhead, it's been the same movie, Carney. It's been the same thing we've seen. I just want to flip the script and show us something. That's all I'm asking for. As you look out your window there, Carney.
My dinner's just showed up, mate, so get this wrapped up, mate.
Yes. Before you get your dinner, Carney, and before I let you go, is there any last words before Sunday?
No, just go out there and win it, Rangers. That's it. Go out there and win it. Go out and give it your all and shut us all up. Prove us all wrong and go out and do the business. Just leave everything out there. Battle them. Do something different and just leave no regrets out on the pitch. It really is as simple as that. Thank you everybody in the chat. Thank you everybody for signing up with the Patreon. If you flick over to Patreon tomorrow onto the gold tier, if you've signed up for that, you'll get Club Classics where Ryan, Nicky and myself sat and watched a classic Old Firm game from 1999. I'm sure you all know what one it is, but a really good pod to do. So yes, you sign over, head over there and you'll be able to watch that. But yeah, thank you everybody. I very much hope next time I talk to you on Sunday, we are celebrating a win. I hope so.
I'm jealous of Cliff there in Los Angeles there as well.
I know.
But yeah, I'm the same, Carney. I just want Rangers to lay it all out in the park. Just go there, be brave in the ball. I think we have players now. We've got rid of an old guard that aren't there. I know Tav's still there, but if you actually go through the team and get through it now, there is a lot of new players there. A lot of younger guys that haven't been there, guys that I think will go no fear, i.e. Connor Barron, Jeffy. Just go and have a go at them. I can take it. If Celtic beat us on their better in the day, fair enough. But if Rangers don't show the attitude and desire that's what they haven't done in previous games, go there and show it. Go and show what you're about. As we've said in this podcast, Carney, and on social media and everything, they've been written off, this Rangers team. The games, the scorelines all have been printed in the newspapers for Monday. Go and flip the script, Rangers. Go and show us. And as always, it is over to you, Rangers. So thank you to everyone in the chat tonight. And last but not least, a thank you to my one and only guest tonight, Scott Carney. What are you getting for your dinner tonight? That's what everyone wants to know.
Always a pleasure. We're getting a chippy tonight, mate. We're getting a chippy. We've not had one in a while, so.
What did you order?
I've got a sausage supper. I think she's got a pizza crunch. She's pregnant, mate, so she gets whatever she wants. Do you know what I mean? So whatever she wants to eat, she very much gets. So she was like, chippy. I was like, fine, no problem at all. So yeah, going to sit and have that, mate. Flick through Twitter furiously for the rest of the night, and hopefully we see another couple of signings. But as I say, I'm not holding out too much hope. But look, as difficult as it's going to be, you just need to try and remain sane, mate, through all of this, because it's been a tough summer. It really has been a tough summer. And I just hope that the team can put all that to one side and really give the fans something to cheer about on Sunday. I think that's what we all want. Just something to, as you say, to flip the script, mate, to make us feel a bit different, to make us feel like maybe we can go on and do something this season. Because, as I say, it's been tough. And I very much hope that I'm wrong and Rangers signing off 5 tonight, but I just don't see that happening. But yeah, it's what it's all about, mate. And I suppose it's really is what it's all about. Football is this ridiculous thing that we get ourselves involved in, and it takes control of our life far, far too much. And yeah, and we're dragged through all sorts of emotions, mate. But I wouldn't have it any other way. Play up the famous Glasgow Rangers and just go do it, Rangers. Go do it.
Yeah. Change the script for us, Rangers. It's the most miserable game in world sport to watch. If you're
we hate it, mate. We hate because you pick me up and we are miserable, mate. Like I don't even want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you, mate.
Even watching the game, it's horrible to watch. To be honest, unless for some god knows reason you're a couple of goals up. But yeah, I agree. Just flip the script, Rangers. Let's go there and show us something different. But yes, we will be back on Sunday. I think it'll be myself and Carney, maybe Mr. Haymarch might be there as well. We will be doing a match reaction, as always, hopefully with 3 smiling faces on a Rangers win. So yes, thanks to Carney, thanks to everyone in the chat. We have been Club at 22, the Rangers podcast, and we will see you on next Friday on YouTube.